This is Sid Roth saying, I have a vision. Now is the set time to blow the trumpet in Zion.
Blow a trumpet in Zion, sound it on the mountain. Blow a trumpet in Zion, for the day of the Lord is come.
Shalom, Mishpacha. Shalom, family. Mishpacha is a Hebrew word. It means family. We're the Mishpacha, the family with a Jewish heart, made up of Jewish and non-Jewish people that are one new man in the Messiah. Getting ready, Mishpacha, to blow the grandest shofar. Oh, the grandest trumpet in Zion. We want everyone, everywhere to hear the good news. We want everyone, everywhere to be red hot for the Messiah. I might have mentioned this previously to you, but it's so overwhelming that I've got to mention it again. You know about these computer codes that they found in the Bible, these secret messages that are hidden in the Bible. They use a very simple program called equidistance lettering. And the way it works is you might have played the game as a child. You pick a letter, and then you have the key to the code. Like, let's say the key is the number 9. So you go every 9th letter on a page of writing, and you write down those letters. Before you know it, you have a word, and before you know that, you have a hidden sentence. And they found the most astounding messages hidden in the Scriptures, because God has so much wisdom that anything He does is so much deeper than any human, or any human even with a computer, could ever do. So I had one of these computer people that I'd been interviewing look up my name to see if my name was in the Bible. And he said, Sid, I not only found your name, but I found your Hebrew name. And in the same section of the Bible, I found the name of the organization that you have, the Messianic Vision. I even found some of your staff members. But I'll tell you the thing that really got to me. My wife has a very unique family name. And in the same section of the Scriptures, written thousands of years ago, in the most simplistic code, they not only found my name in my Hebrew name, every Jewish person has a name from the culture they're in, and also has a Hebrew name. My Hebrew name is Yisrael ben Yaakov David. And they found that right by my name. But the thing that really overwhelmed me, Mishpacha, is they found the name of my wife right before my name in the same area of the Scriptures where my name was in code. And my wife has a very unusual family name. Her middle name, her mother had the same name, and it's Thurley. I mean, it's so unusual. And they found that in the same area that my name was in. What's the probability of something like that? Well, the same man that found it did a statistical study of what the probability was. And you know what it was? There was one chance in 8.8 billion that all of those facts would be in one area of the Bible in a secret code. Give me a break, you skeptics and your atheists. How do you account for that? There is only one way to account for that, and that is there is a God who recorded what He wants humans to know in a book called the Bible, and this is not like any other book that's ever been written. It's a book from the Creator of the universe. But I can tell you, the prophet Hosea, talking about the Jewish people, says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of God's Word. And although I knew the basic stories about Moses and Noah, same thing a Gentile learns in a Sunday school. I knew those stories. I had never read the Scriptures for myself. I let someone else do my thinking. I never thought for myself. I figured that's the job of the rabbi. we had a separation in Judaism between the rabbis and the regular people. And the regular people were dependent on the rabbis to be their priest, to be their intermediary with God, to tell them what's right and what's wrong. I never thought for myself. I want to take you back a number of years. I was a little child. It was late at night, maybe 6, 7 years old. My parents used to stay up late because they had an addiction. It's called gambling. And they used to play poker. And so they were out late. And I remember thinking, boy, I wish they were home. And then for some reason, a thought popped into my head. It's like I wasn't thinking about it previously, but it just popped into my head. And the thought was a question. What happens when you die? Well, in Judaism, although we definitely have an opinion as to what happens when you die, and the scriptures definitely say what happens when you die, Judaism is l'chaim, to life. Funerals are horrible times. Everyone crying and wailing, and we just don't talk about death. So what's a young child to think about death? I thought death meant you cease to exist. Again, that's not what Judaism teaches, but because we only talk about the positives, so to speak, l'chaim, to life, my logical mind said you cease to exist. Well, then the next question popped into my mind. Well, if I cease to exist, what would it be like if this earth goes on and whatever is me ceases to exist? So as like a little child, I tried to imagine what life, this is crazy, but this is what I did, what life would be like. And the more I imagined, the more objectionable it became. The more objectionable it became, the less I wanted to think about it, and I reached the only intelligent decision I could. I blocked it from my mind. Whatever was me, I wanted it to continue to being. I wanted it to continue existing. I didn't want whatever was the life within me to be snuffed out and never to be heard again. And so I just blocked it from my mind, and I refused to think about it anymore. And so I did the typical Jewish things. I had my bar mitzvah. I went to the synagogue with my father, especially on the major holidays. We stopped after a while going on Saturday mornings, on Shabbat. Once in a while we would go. But my big goal in life was to be a millionaire. And I remember in college, I used to write songs. And I wrote a song called There Must Be Something More. And I remember the words. The words went something like this. There must be something more, because I work, eat, sleep, and that's the way it goes. Because I work, eat, sleep, and that's the way it goes. You know, an artist or a songwriter, I'll tell you a little secret about us. What we write about expresses the deep desires of our heart. And in my heart, this is what the words sounded like. There must be something more. Because if this is all there is, I work, eat, sleep, and that's it. And I get married, I have the college degree, I have a good job, I raise a family, and I get enough money to get them to go to college and raise a family, and then I die. That's good. But there must be something more. It was almost a passion. And so I blinked my eyes a few times. I had a college degree. I blinked my eyes a few more times. I was married. I blinked my eyes a few more times. I had a daughter. I blinked my eyes a few more times. I had a wonderful job as an account executive with Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith. And I blinked my eyes a few more times, and I thought, I'm almost 30. I'm over the hill. I'm not a millionaire. Because my great desire in life was to be happy. And according to the great teacher of the age, what was the great teacher of the age? It still is, unfortunately, television. According to the great teacher of the age, if you had $1 million, you should be happy. Well, now that I have gray hair, I found out the most important things in life cannot be purchased with money. You cannot purchase your health. You cannot purchase a good marriage. You cannot purchase a family where the children are not into drugs and rebellion and pornography and earrings up and down their ears and other parts of their body. You can't purchase these things. But I didn't know it. I was lied to. And I was told if I was a millionaire, I'd be happy. And my goal was to be a millionaire before age 30. And here I am, 29, unhappily married, unhappy as a stockbroker, just plain unhappy. I don't know what's going to bring me happiness, but it doesn't look like my $1 million is going to be the ticket. So what should I do? And I'm not proud of what I did. But unfortunately, 1 out of 2 people do this today. I left my wife. I left my daughter. I left my job. And I went searching for happiness. I mean, there's got to be some happiness for me in this world, but I don't even know where to look. And it's a big world out there if you don't know what you're looking for. But I can tell you the one thing I wasn't looking for. We Jews don't believe in Jesus. So at least the religious base was taken care of. The last place in the world I would have looked for is Jesus as a Jew. I remember as a young Jewish man, I was reading a book of sayings of Mr. Ripley, his amazing fact book. And it was his most amazing statements. And one of his statements, I couldn't believe it. One day I read it, and it said, Jesus was a Jew. And I got so angry because we Jews don't believe in him. And I got so angry, I went to my parents. And I said, Mom, Dad, look the nerve of these people, this Mr. Ripley. He said Jesus is a Jew. And that's when I found out for the first time in my life that Jesus is a Jew. It might be a funny story, but isn't there a better witness to the reality of the living God than Mr. Ripley's amazing fact book? I'm going to be sharing this week of the encounter that I had as a Jewish man with the Lord and how it changed my life and how it changed every member of my family's life. I say every member of my family's life. And if you have a Jewish friend that doesn't know the Messiah, I would urge you to get a copy of my testimony book. The name of the book is that song I wrote, There Must Be Something More. That's the title of the book. There must be something more. In fact, the original sheet music, when I wrote that song, There Must Be Something More, is on the cover of the book. And if you have any friends, Jewish or non-Jewish alike, that need to know the Messiah, that are involved in the New Age, because I almost lost my life in the New Age, then this is the book for them. The title is There Must Be Something More, subtitled The Spiritual Rebirth of a Jew. Look, the Jewish person that God has had cross your path, I want you to give them this book. It's $10, postage paid. And you may say, I don't know a Jewish person. You get a copy of this book, God will have a Jewish person cross your path, and you'll be sorry that you didn't have it. In fact, many of you should order 10 or 20 of these books. They're $10 a piece, and this is the set time to favor Zion.
If you would like to receive a complimentary copy of our bi-monthly teaching newsletter, cassette catalog, or information about becoming Mishpocha, write to me, Sid Roth, Post Office Box 1918, Brunswick, Georgia 31521. Or call our order-only line, 1-800-548-1918. To place a credit card order, call anytime, 1-800-548-1918. For all other calls, the number is 912-265-2500. That's 912-265-2500. For a cassette tape of this week's broadcast, send $5 to Sid Roth, Post Office Box 1918, Brunswick, Georgia 31521. Look us up on the web, www.sidroth.org. That's www